Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? Anybody?
What's up, guys?
We are a little early getting the show started. Well, I guess not. It's 5:30. Welcome in to Extra Point, our Monday edition. It's of course, our regular edition. Welcome in. Got a lot to talk about today, guys. By the way, big thanks to Dr. Kevin Collins. The Houston Clinic sponsors our Monday show, and also sponsors the Colquitt County Coaches Show with Sean Calhoun, which that should be pretty interesting. I tell you, we've got a lot to talk about. This is going to be an interesting show. I want you guys to come on in, man. Let's have a blast, because there is so much happening in the world of high school football. I mean, it's just where to start, you know? So who is going to be our first comment of the day? We got a lot of bashful people out of the dozen or so that are already checking in. If you are new to the show, and I know the last few weeks we've been getting some new folks in, it's real simple. We want to know where you guys are checking out the show from. You know, who's your favorite team? And remember, those two things not always one and the same. But big game, obviously, big games, I should say, coming up this weekend in Region 1-6A. As the region, everybody gets back to action this week. Rufus... Rufus is demand checks in, says Camden just scored. Oh, what do you mean by that, Rufus? Not yet. Brooks Carter checking in. What's up, Brooks? Phil, what is the date for the reclassification meetings to start? That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know, but I can find out for you. Metra J772, how you doing today from Valdosta? I'm doing great. How you doing? Are you in Valdosta? Obadiah Farley. Obadiah is usually the first guy in, but here he is, one of the first. What's going on, ITG? TCC checking in. What's up, Obadiah? Always glad to see my buddy Obadiah Farley. Good man. Really appreciate his friendship. If I haven't told you that, Obadiah. But anyway, there it is. All right, so a lot, again, to get to. Rosser Sutherland checking in from Marietta, where everything's better in Marietta. We could win the region this week at Cherokee with a win, and North Paulding lost to Walton. This will be the last game at Cherokee Stadium before the school moves. How about that? That's good information to know. So, guys, a lot to talk about. I tell you, for those of you that that don't catch our show, our coaches shows. So I'm doing 6 coaches shows. I do those with and there's some good ones. Kareem Reed at McEachern, Roswell's head coach JT Thompson, Houston County's coach Jeremy Edwards. And then Tiff County's coach, Jeff Littleton. Who am I leaving out? Gosh, I hate it when I do this. So let's see. Roswell, Houston County, McEachern, Worth County. So And then I mentioned tomorrow we Colquitt County and Tift County. Guys, look at all these coaches shows that we do. And I'm not really saying it to brag, although I guess maybe I am. You're not going to find anywhere else where you can get it straight from the coach's mouth, the horse's mouth, as the saying goes. And look at all the coaches we've got. Yes, I know Tift County, has not played that well. They're not out of it yet. They got to have some, a couple of big things have got to happen for Tift. I get it. But anyway, it's great to hear the insight from these coaches. And the fact that all of these coaches and their teams very much in not just the playoff hunt, but guys, they're people are talking, quarterfinals, semifinals, maybe. So we want to get into that and talk a good bit about that today. Obviously, Obadiah Farley checking in. He's a big, of course, he is Thomas County Central's #1 fan. And I know Obadiah is really looking forward to this game. It's going to be Friday night. Thomas County Central is going to be hosting the Hoco Bears. What a game that is going to be. Wow. That's the game of the week, game of the night, game of the year. Obadiah Farley says, yeah, I'm ready to listen to the Hoco Coaching Show this week. So we recorded this morning, Obadiah. I would highly encourage you to check it out. He says a lot of good things about TCC. I promise you, he is given all the respect. And here's something interesting, guys. When I talk to coaches about TCC, to a man, you can tell, okay, these coaches see Thomas County Central on film, and you can just tell that, hey, these coaches believe. I mean, they believe what they see, and what they're seeing is a team that is talented. They're big, fast. Guys, I've told you before, and I understand some TCC fans got upset with me Friday night. I don't know what about. I mean, I've got them ranked #1, in our composite poll that we do. I give all the respect in the world, and I've been saying this from day one. I think Thomas County Central, it's going to be tough for them not to win the state championship. Let me put it that way. They are one of the most athletically gifted team. They have the size, and I'm not talking about like big fat. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big, like just lean and powerful. And I remember the last time I saw them, which I guess was last year when we did the coffee game. It was almost a year ago today, roughly a year ago this week or so, give or take a few days. But we did the coffee TCC game at Thomas County Central last year. It was our ITG next game of the week. And, I can remember thinking then, my gosh, Thomas County Central looks like a college team. And that was the second game we did. We did 2 games with TCC last year. We did the Thomasville TCC game earlier, and that's when it first dawned on me. So anyway, they definitely have a team. And I mean, when I say a team, I mean the team. So I encourage you to listen to Jeremy Edwards, the Hoco Coaches Show. He pays, again, full respect to Thomas County Central. There's no bragging. There's no beating his chest because they're undefeated. He knows this is going to be tough. So anyway, I guess better to go in with that kind of attitude than to go in with an attitude of being cocky just because you're undefeated. And so this is going to determine really the region for all intents and purposes. This is going to determine Region 2-5A. Look, these are the 2 teams, right? Okay, so let me get to the comments. We got a lot of people that are wanting to check in today. Let me back up a little bit, and we got Dr. James Andrews checking in. Look he said Dr. Andrews checking in. You beat me to it, buddy. I love it. Dr. James Andrews checking in, famed orthopedic surgeon, says, "Let's go Vikings." By the way, I know that there's my buddy Stephen K. Wynn checking in. Stephen, I got to tell you, buddy, I love you. My buddy Steven is just infatuated with this Creekside situation. I'm just giving you a hard time, Steven. I love you, buddy. But yeah, I got you, man. I saw everything that happened with Creekside. Steven was all over me Friday night, man, because I was kind of giving Creekside a little bit of fit. But, they scored a lot of defensive touchdowns, and that's what he was wanting me to see. But anyway, it's all good. I don't get that crazy about it. But anyway, it is what it is. What's up, Stephen K. Wynn, by the way, checking in from Leesburg, Trojan Nation. Stephen K. Wynn, now what do you think? And I don't know why I'm saying your full name like that. But anyway, Stephen, what do you think about Lee County. Everybody seems to be kind of just counting them out. Here I am talking about, Thomas County Central and HOCO for the region title. I mean, and I'm a big, as you guys know, I'm a Dean Fabrizio believer. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal head football coach. As we have stated all year, the quarterback situation has really kind of killed. That's not a good word to use. It has really hurt Lee County this year. But if they can somehow get a handle on the quarterback situation, and it sounds like they're not getting bad play, but just again, they just don't have a Weston Bryan this year. If you look around the region, Thomas County Central has got Jace Johnson. Is that right? I always get him and the Lowndes quarterback mixed up. Somebody help me out if I got that wrong. So Thomas County Central has Jace Johnson. You've got let's see. Well, that's Thomas County. You've got Houston County has got Ryan Maxwell, who has filled in very nicely, by the way, for the departed, the graduated, and now Memphis Tiger AJ Hill. Hey, by the way, it's seeing playing time this year up there. Don't worry, I'm going to get y'all's comments coming up. I'm going to go back and rewind everybody. But so my point being, you got all these great quarterbacks. Talking about Thomas County Central's quarterback, you got Lee County, or you got Houston County's quarterback. Man, he's doing a phenomenal job, as I mentioned. Obviously, it's an off year for Northside Warner Robins. Veterans. So anyway, you kind of see where I'm going here. So Lee County, and not coincidentally, maybe has the third best quarterback in the region, and that's kind of where Lee County is, right? So anyway, we'll talk more about that as we go forward. So Jeffrey Rowland is in. Jeffrey, where have you been? Jeffrey Rowland, where have you been, dude? Jeffrey says, I'm back in the New York, hey, from Warner Robins, Demon Country. Jeffrey, what's your take on Warner Robins, man? My man Shane Sams, things are slipping a little bit. I love Shane Sams, though. I think he's the right coach, no matter what. So stick with him. This thing up there in Middle Georgia, we've been talking about it on the last couple of shows, talked about it Friday night. Look, this whole situation up there in Warner Robins, and when I say Warner Robins, I'm not talking just the football team. I'm talking about the city, the Houston County. Look, I know a lot of people were throwing shade at Northside Warner Robins for TCC hanging 70 on them. Okay, but let me remind, don't get mad at me, TCC fan. Okay, just don't even go there. So I'm just saying that, Thomas County Central Northside Warner Robins had one of the longest, most successful runs of any team in the state of Georgia for over a decade. Okay, I mean, they did really well. Did Thomas County Central. I was in the dark there. Now I can see again. But they were Northside Warner Robins, man. I mean, they had one of the most prolific win streaks, successful streaks for a long time. And yes, they have now hit a skid. That's how football works. That's how life works. You have things that go in cycles. And Thomas County Central, unfortunately, is going in that bad cycle right now. However, it will, as any other team does, they'll snap out of it. They'll come out of it. And I just hope that they give Coach Boone time to work through it, because he is the right guy for the job. But I just again, I just hate the people dissing on and throwing shade at Northside Warner Robins just because of the lull that they're going through now, because I promise you, guys, they have had their day in the sun, okay? Big time. So just be careful. Be careful when that's just going to bring bad karma on you anyway. All right, Rufus as Demand. I'm actually checking this out from my phone. So Rufus as Demand says Colquitt's got a chance to make the 6A playoffs this season. Well, yeah. Yes, they do, Rufus. They sure do. All right, so let me go back. Calvin Jones. What's up, Calvin? How you doing this evening from Valdosta? I'm doing good, Calvin. Thanks so much for checking out the show, man. All right. So let me go back up here and okay, thank you for answering my question, buddy. Tim Thompson's checking in from Swainsboro. What's up with your Tigers, man? Calvin Jones, I mentioned Calvin. Evan Reese checking in from the land of Roswell Hornets. What's up, Evan? By the way, we had a great coaching show this morning with JT Thompson, Coach Thompson. So you want to be sure not to miss that. The Roswell Coaching Show with Coach Thompson. We had a great conversation with him this morning talking about their last two games. Roswell's got two massive games coming up against Milton, Gainesville this weekend, and then Milton to end the season. So we're going to see, what kind of team. This is going to tell a lot about Roswell's team. I think they are for real. I think they win one of those two games. I don't know which one exactly, but that's my prediction. I think Roswell's going to win one of those two remaining games, either over Milton or Gainesville, but we'll have to see which one it is. So I mentioned Jeffrey Rowland. Jeffrey, it's good to see you back in the house, my man. Really is. We missed you, brother. I hope everything has been going well in your life. Rosser Sutherland says, after watching the replay of McEachern and Hillgrove, I'm not so sure that Hillgrove will beat Harrison for the 2 seed in that region. Yeah, you may be right. I don't know. I think McEachern is the toast of Cobb County. I mean, everybody. Okay. No offense, Rosser. I think McEachern is for real. They've got offense. They've got defense. This is why before the season started, I said, Marietta was one of the teams. McEachern was one of the teams to watch out for. I said that with some certain degree of confidence, and I'm backing that up. I believe that. I also said that about Troup County. And look what Troup County is doing. They come away with a big, big win over crosstown or cross-county rival LaGrange this past Friday night. That was a huge win for Tanner Glisson and his Troup County Tigers. So, big win there. Okay, Obadiah Farley says, I'm ready to listen to the HOCO Coaching Show this week. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Stephen K. Okay, I'm repeating myself here, ain't I? Andrew Watkins checking in. Darty checking in this week. We face Westover for the citywide championship. I love it. Now, do they have a trophy, Andrew? And I'm not being facetious. I'm not being smart, but do they actually have like the Good Life City? That's what they always call Albany. Do they have like an Albany city championship trophy? If not, they should. I mean, that's bragging rights. And I'm being serious. Juancimo Villalobos has joined us. To what do we owe thee, Juancimo? Great to see you in the house, my man. Says, what's up, Phil? Roswell Gainesville this week. That's right. That's going to be a big one of many big games. Guys, we are heading into a 2-week stretch here. Big-time games this weekend, and then the next weekend is Halloween night. Are you kidding me? Lowndes, Valdosta. Who you got in that one? Easy money says to go with Lowndes, I guess. I don't know. Or is it Valdosta? Where's that game at, by the way? I think it's in Valdosta, isn't it? Man, that is going to be some kind. We always say that about the Wintersville Classic. This one's going to be even bigger. Promise you. All right, so Juancimo says that Gainesville can clinch the region with a win at beautiful City Park. Yep, can clinch the region with a win. Now, do they need any help? Juancimo Villalobos, or is that it? They win and they're in, or they win and they get the championship, right? Dr. James Andrews, I mentioned earlier. Dr. Andrews has blessed us with his grace today. Brad Phillips, what's up, Brad? Brad Phillips, my favorite veterinarian. We have a region race shaping up between Glenn, Effingham, Brunswick, and Statesboro in Region 1-5A. How about that, man? That is great. I love it when, several teams get lumped together and have a chance to vie for a region championship. Because like I've said before, guys, this is, if you don't make the playoffs, nothing else really matters. Okay? So, glad to see that there's several teams in the mix, Dr. Phillips. That is great to hear. Ren Estes. Ren, what's going on, man? Great to see you in here, buddy. And I mean that with all sincerity. Glad to be listening to another great show today. Y'all do a great job letting people know what's going on in Georgia high school football. Ren, man, you made my day. And I mean that. Man, when you guys say things like that, I do not take it lightly, man. I am just blessed to do this. I am blessed by the comments, man. tearing up here, and I'm serious. I just that. Yeah, I don't take anything for granted. I don't take life for granted. I don't take what I do for a living for granted. I am so blessed by the big man upstairs. And so these comments like that, that let us know that what we're doing is working. I really appreciate that, Ren. Thank you very much, man. Bruce Carter, I mentioned, big games in our area this week, Mitchell County. Who won that thing between Mitchell and Miller the other night? That thing was that was a shootout, wasn't it? Mitchell County, Early County for the Region 1 Class AD2. That's a mouthful. Title this Friday, Southwest Georgia Academy from Damascus. Going to be at Southland Academy for the GIAA Class AA District 3 title. Pelham at Miller. Randolph Clay at Seminole. That's 9-man football. Georgia Force at Baker. Okay. All right. So where is Georgia Force? Where's Georgia Force at? Brooks, I don't think I've ever heard that. That's interesting though. I have heard that before, but I didn't know. That's a high school football program? Let me know about that. Jim Blair checking in. What's up, Jim? Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. Colquitt County Packers in Camden County. That's going to be a big one, Jim, at Paca Stadium. Jim Tunna and Doa Domini going to be on the call on that one. That's going to be a big one. By the way, I'll talk to Sean Calhoun tomorrow about that game. But again, if you want to hear the game, you can go check it out on Cruising 94. But I remember Jim Tunna always talking about Cruising 94. And here we are. Jim Tunna, voice of the Packers. Love Jim. Great guy. Him and Darwood Domini. Boy, they are the best in the business. Stephen K. Wynn says, just imagine for a moment if there was an all-classification Final Four. I would love that. That's a great topic. That's a great point, Steve. I may steal that and write a story on it, with your permission, of course. I love that, Stephen. If there was, just imagine if there was an all-classification Final Four. Grayson, there's my man on that Creekside kick. Well, I'm telling you, Steve's going to get that Creekside in there again. Grayson versus Creekside, TCC versus Carver Columbus. What about that, brother? Now, I like TCC Carver. I like Grayson. But where is Buford at? Man, I'm telling you guys, this Buford machine, it's a shame that we've got Grayson and Buford. Somebody's going to have to win. And I just don't know. I mean, they are and I say they both are so talented. By the way, I said on my pregame notes, so I put some pregame notes out there earlier about the show. And I was talking about the best player in high school football. Now I'm going to tease this a little bit. I don't want to tell you, and then you guys run off on me. And I've actually talked about it before, so if you know, don't spoil it. But there is a guy who I think is the best player in the state of Georgia, and I'm going to tell you, he makes his presence known Friday nights, Saturday night, or Friday nights, week in and week out. Guy's amazingly talented athlete, I should say. But yes, Stephen Wynn, I love that topic that you bring up. If we had an all classification Final Four, I'm going to write that down because I like to write funny stories like that, fun stories like that. I'm working on like top 10 updated high school football players in the state, all class Final Four. I love it, Stephen. Love it. I've often said Stephen is kind of our sixth man. Yeah, not on the payroll, but he is an honorary ITG Next employee. How about that? All right. J Rock says, "Oh, I like that name, man. J Rock says if Hoko wins but then loses to Lee, which could happen. How is it the championship game?" No, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, I don't think anybody. I mean, it's not. I don't guess it's officially the championship game. I just think that a lot of people consider, and you do have an if there, a lot of people consider these two teams the best in Region 2-5A, and I think a lot of people are just using that loosely, Jay. I don't think anybody's really, I think people are just making the assumption that the winner of that game is going to turn out to be the region champ, okay? So anyway, don't take it, I wouldn't take it too seriously. Football fans having fun, that's all it is, man. So do you think, so if Hoco wins but then loses to Lee, which could happen, yes, it could. It could. So who does Lee County have left? Somebody help me out with that. And somebody that, where's Darius Kirksey when you need him? Darius Kirksey is Mr. Bracketologist for us. Where's he at? And wherever you are, Darius, I want to know, let's address what J-Rock is talking about. Okay. How wide open is this Region 2-5A? Inquiry minds want to know. But again, I think a lot of people just make the assumption, Jay, that these are the top two teams. I get Lee County could do this, and I love Lee County. I love Dean Fabrizio. I'm glad he's back. But I don't know. I just don't think this is, I don't think this is going to be Lee County's year in terms of a region championship. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. But I don't think so. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Boy, I bet I'll be getting a call from Dean Fabrizio when the show ends. I love it. Philip Jacob Williams says, yeah, Central's defensive line looks like collegiate linebackers. They are shredded. I'm telling you, guys, the last time that I saw Thomas County Central, which was last year against Coffee in that final regular season game, I just sat there and stared in amazement. And I think it helps if you don't see them a lot, if you don't see them in every game. If you get a chance to walk away and then come back. I think that Thomas County Central just seems to me to be the most athletically gifted team in the state. And again, I'm talking the state. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's going to beat them. It could be Hoco. It could be Hoco Friday night. I'll tell you this. Watch the Houston County Coaches Show with Jeremy Edwards and listen to what Jeremy has to say about Thomas County Central. I mean, he's throwing all the respect in the world for those guys, and that's smart. Last thing you want to do is rile up Thomas County Central and Coach Justin Rogers. That's for sure. Don't want to do that. Tony Wentz checking in. Thomas County Central, Jacket Nation checking in. What's up? Tony Wentz says it's Jalen. Okay, yeah, Jalen. What's up, Jody Hewitt? So Jody's keeping me straight. It's Jalen Johnson at TCC, and at Lowndes, it's Jace, right? So I was getting that wrong earlier. Man, we should have we should have given one of these young men like a JJ or something like that, because I can't keep them apart. I do know one thing: they are two awesome quarterbacks. That's for sure. All right, let me see here. Bruce Carter, Phil, if you have any GHSA team or any team that plays independently for football and want to join the league, please let them know. GAPS is opening a 9-man open division for football for teams that are GHSA or play independent football. I would think, and guys, y'all see what my buddy Bruce Carter is posting here. Look, if you guys have a team that, I don't know, maybe in one of the counties that is slow to develop. And Brooks, I don't know. I'm trying to think, man. What about like, gosh, man, what was the private school name? Who is it? Like Sherwood Christian. That's not who I'm thinking about. But there's several schools that can be a candidate for this 9-man football. Look. You want kids to have a chance to play. You want them to be able to have a chance to play and compete and not get into a region like with Thomas County Central or somebody like that. I mean, you just don't want that. So, anyway, great chance for these teams to develop these young men, 9-man football. Brooks Carter, his name is up on the screen. Give him a, Brooks, if you want to throw your contact information out. But you guys look at Brooks Carter's comments and see if that's something that interests you, your coach. That's where it always starts, at the fan level. So let Brooks know. Stephen K. Wynn, Lee played their best game last Friday. Limited mistakes, played a disciplined game. They are young but could upset some teams to finish the season and into the playoffs. I hear you. So Lee County played, who was that, veterans? Stephen, is that right? Played veterans last week? Rufus is demand says Concord has a chance to make the okay, we get it, buddy. Yes, they have a chance to make the playoffs. All righty. Rufus may have already been getting in the bottle 5 o'clock somewhere. Ricky Moss, 10 straight years of 10-plus wins. That's for who? Ricky? Who are you talking about? What program are you talking about, my man? Obadiah Farley says, let's hope they give him time. Now, what are you talking about? The only reason why I threw shade at him was because he eliminated us from the state playoffs last year. Who are you talking about? Come on. When y'all say him and they, and you got to be specific. I'm lost here. Jerry Harrison is checking in from Monroe area, not Monroe Golden Tornadoes, but Monroe area. It's the area of Monroe. It's Monroe area. Jerry, what's going on, my man? Glad to see you in the house, brother. Tony Wynn, Jackets Nation, check out from Jackson, Alabama. I got you. So, Tony, did you coach over there? Because I saw you on Facebook. I think I saw you and your wife had posted some stuff, and great looking family, by the way. But for some reason, I got the feeling that y'all were maybe like in the high school recruiting landscape or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining that. Heather Knight Rodriguez is checking in. Hey, everyone. TCC checking in. Ready for them Hoco Bears. Go Jaggers. 12th man. Hashtag 12th man. Hashtag together we swarm. Hashtag the county. Yeah, it's going to be, guys, let me ask y'all this. Heather and everybody else is checking in. Where does this game coming up, where does this game rank in terms of big games at Thomas County Central? Okay. Where is it going to rank in terms of the crowd? Now, I know it's going to be a long ride for Houston County fans to come down from Thomasville, and I guess they have to drive down and get off in Tifton and then take 319 South. I'm assuming that's how most people coming from Warner Robins from Middle Georgia is going to come to this game. But however they get there, the only thing is they get there safely. That's what we want. But where does this game rank, guys? This Thomas County Central Hoco game. Where is this going to rank in terms of all-timers? Not Alzheimer's. Don't take me wrong. I'm not going that way. But in terms of all-time, big-time games, where does this game rank? I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest games I can remember. And I've been covering football for a long time. So let me know what you guys think. Where does this Thomas County Central game rank in terms of TCC Hoco? By the way, also Hoco, they had all they could handle against Coffee last week. Game was tied at one point, 21-21, and then Hoco took over and went on to win the game. By the way, I was very close on my pick six on that one. I had Hoco and basically I almost got the score right between Hoco and Coffee. Just about got it right. I've been doing pretty good on my pick six. Let me see. So the Hoco game, I had predicted. I had predicted 40-21. And the final score was, 45-21, I believe? So I went 5-1 on my pick six. I predicted, by the way, I picked McEachern to win 33-21, and I caught a lot of grief. How dare you think that McEachern's going to score 33 points on that Hillgrove defense, Phil? That's all I heard last week. You know Hillgrove has been shutting everybody out, Phil. You know that McEachern's never going to score 33 points. Well, yes, they did.
Nah, got you on that one. So anyway, McEachern, I picked that one right. I did miss Peachtree Ridge and Brookwood. By the way, Brookwood is showing signs of kind of being their old Brookwood self. They're going to be a team to keep an eye on. I got to be honest with you, Peachtree Ridge, man, they're doing well. Love my buddy up there, the head coach there. But man, ever since Darnell Kelly left Peachtree Ridge, that hurt him. Yeah, that's hard to replace a guy like that. Now, they've got a good quarterback, but I mean that was hard. That was just hard on the team. And when you got a good quarterback, you build camaraderie. That's your team leader. That's tough to lose that guy. But anyway, wishing him nothing but the best now that he is at Hughes, of course. All right, Fitzgerald. I picked Fitzgerald to win 35-21. They won. Picked Jasper County to beat Social Circle. By the way, great job Ashley Henderson is doing, having resurrected the awful program that was Jasper County. Jasper County took on and beat Social Circle in a game that they won by a bunch of points. So great job there, Ashley. Way to go. Ashley has taken that Jasper County team from a team that had not hosted a playoff game in like 35 years. They hadn't had an undefeated regular season in almost the same time. I mean, football was non-existent in Monticello, Georgia, until Ashley Henderson arrived. And Ashley Henderson has now built them into a winner. And lo and behold, they made the Class A Division I, if that's what they're a part of. I can never keep them straight. Anyway, they made the ITG Next Top 10. We still send a top 10 list into the Georgia High School Football Daily. We still are a part of their composite top 10 rankings, even though our ITG Next rankings are, we've gone to the new top 25 format, which I like, by the way. Really like it a lot. Okay, there's Darius Kirksey. Darius, I've been looking for you, man. He's the official bracketologist of Extra Point and ITG Next. Appreciate you checking out the show, Darius, and I appreciate all your help that you give me and all you guys give me on the on all of the playoff scenarios and this and that. So, Darius Kirksey says both HOCO and TCC control their own destiny. So that game Friday night sets the stage. As it stands, I have TCC. Oh, okay, I got you. So Darius Kirksey says I have TCC, HOCO, and Lee. Yeah, I think I think Lee's going to be the third team. I did predict, by the way, Houston County to win over Thomas County Central. We'll see. We'll see. It was really just a flip a coin situation. So I don't want anybody to get personal. We had somebody that came in here on the show Friday night. I guess they were a little angry at me for not saying good things about Thomas, or I don't know what they got upset about. But anyway, started throwing a little bit of shade at me. And so, you know what? Ain't got time for that kind of drama. I've always been told by some people who I really respect a lot, said, Phil, there are just people in this world who are not going to be happy with things you say, and you just got to let it go. You got to let them do their thing. And so that's kind of what I've decided to do in that deal. But anyway, made at least one fan mad Sunday night or Friday night about TCC. Look, I've got nothing but respect for TCC. I've got nothing but respect for Justin Rogers, for that football program. Okay. I think what I said was, they had played a pretty easy schedule. Look, it's a fact, and I'm not throwing shade at them. Certain teams have played easy schedules. Will it make a difference? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think it matters. Some people will say, well, you play that easy schedule and it's not going to do anything to get you ready for, the tough postseason. Well, that has not stopped TCC at all so far. So, again, just, like I said, some people, tend to dwell in the negative. I'm not that kind of guy. So, anyway, it is what it is. All right, let me see if I can get caught up here. Ren Estes, you saying Rush P might be heading back to Georgia to coach. Is that true? Just rumors? Mainly just rumors. I'm going to try to reach out to Rush and see if there's anything to it. I had talked to Rush now back when I had Rush on when they were he was bringing his. Well, I guess it was when they had named Rush the coach at Coosa. Okay, I had talked to Rush, and I said, Rush, what are your plans? I said, are you going to be coaching? He said, I am back. He said, I'm back. He said, don't be surprised if you see me coaching in Georgia. I said, would you be interested in coming to Georgia if the right job came open? He said, absolutely he would. So I'm hearing some rumblings that there may be, there could be an opening for Rush. What do you guys think? Would you like to have Rush back? And why not? If you say no. And I get it. Some people have never done anything wrong. Those are the people, who want to throw shade at Rush and call him names and talk about the too fat, whatever. We've all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. We all do. Okay. It's all about forgiveness. It's all about moving on. Just the example I was making earlier about the lady who really got angry at me in Friday night's show. So people are just going to get angry, but Rush can coach football. But I am hearing that he's going to be, possibly entertaining a job in Georgia. Don't know where yet. But I'm going to reach out to Rush. I'm sure that he is interested and focused on getting his team into the playoffs. Does anybody know how they're doing? I haven't really checked lately. But I'm going to stay on top of the Rush thing. But he did tell me he is back. He feels better than he ever has. And I'm going to be honest with you, it surprised me. I thought Rush was pretty much done. Especially, I really didn't think he would be having any interest in coming back to Georgia. But he dispelled that. He told me. He told me himself. So don't be surprised if Rush winds up. Now, Rush likes where he's at. He likes Alabama. He's an Alabama guy. But don't be surprised if Rush makes his way back to Georgia. Where do you think, by the way, would be a good place, a good landing spot for Rush? That's another thing. It's got to be a good fit. Rush ain't going to come in and just take over a program that's in dire straits. I don't think so. So anyway, let me get caught up on some of the comments here, guys. Derek Redding, he's saying if Hoko wins, then loses to Lee, it's a three-way tie. Okay, I'm trying to get caught up here on your comments, guys. Apologies. Let me see here. Let me get caught up on these comments, guys. Because Jose Badilla, what's up, Jose? Man, I hadn't seen you in a while. Jose Badilla is a good friend. Jose Badilla sent me some Thomas County Central swag, and I wear it all the time. People think it's the Minnesota Twins, Jose, but I'm glad to see you here in the house, my man. I really am. Jose Badilla, yes, bring Rush to Bainbridge. I was actually thinking that when I said that. Where would he be, be more apt to wind up at? And that would not surprise me. Bainbridge. Would not surprise me, Bainbridge. South Georgia, a lot of hunting land. He could go hunt with the boxing guy. What's his name? One of the brothers. Apparently, one of the Jake Paul bought a big plantation or something down there. Was that right? Is that true? Anyway. Wouldn't be surprised, though, to see Rush make his way back to Georgia, but that is what I'm hearing, and I will reach out to Rush. Stephen K. Wynn, Rush heading to UAB or UF. I think the college football thing has sailed for Rush. I think he's a high school football guy. He had that chance to get in with Alabama when he interviewed with Saban, but things were not. Just did not happen. The stars did not line up there. So, anyway. All right. So, I was asking about the environment there. Heather Knight Rodriguez. It will definitely be a championship atmosphere. Winner pretty much has control of the region. Both undefeated. Both ranked top 10 in state. Will be a very crowded, loud game. Go Jackets. Absolutely. I asked about Coach Edwards this morning. He talked about the horns. Look, they got Thomas County Central fans have got the horns. Do the referees, by the way, do anything about the horns? I'm just curious. I mean, I was trying to think about the coffee game last year that we did there. I don't think the horns were a great big deal. I don't know if somebody called, if they made a call or whatever. But anyway, just kind of curious where the horns come down, because I understand GHSA is not that happy about the horns. Anyway, we'd just love to hear y'all's take on it. So, Chandler Howell is checking in from Fitzgerald. Go Canes. What's up, Chandler? Obadiah Farley. So, Obadiah, I'm coming in the middle of your conversation here. Let me try to get on my phone so I can get caught up. Matthew DeBuck. Coach DeBuck is in the house. To what do we owe thee, Matt DeBuck? Rush is like Jimmy Johnson. Bring him back. I hear you. By the way, maybe we can get Matt DeBuck in Georgia. That's a possibility. Great to see you, Matt. Coach DeBuck is a good friend of mine. Coaches down in Fort Lauderdale. Cardinal Gibbons. What's up, brother? Glad to see you made it in the show. Justin King says he's coming to Fitzgerald. No, he's not. Why would you do that? You got a great coach in Wesley Tankersley at Fitzgerald. You're not going to kick him out. But what would be a good landing spot for Rush in Georgia? Just kind of curious about that. But Farley says he's coming back. What program? That's the biggest question. Yeah, you're right. That is the question that everybody wants to know. Another vote for from A.B. Brown, bring Rush to Bainbridge. Jim Blair, maybe help from Richmond Hill this week. Yep, could be. Got a lot of big games going to be taking place this weekend in the state of Georgia. Obadiah Farley says, question, do you think he would take a smaller division? Yeah, I do. I do think he would. You got to remember now, Coosa Christian, I think, is like a AA school, AA private school, and they're in Alabama. So, yeah, I think Rush would, let me put it this way. I think Rush would take a AA or higher job. That's where I think. Maybe Class A, Division I, I don't know. By the way, I'm so glad that Class A, Division I, and Division II split is going away. Can't come soon enough. Jim Blair says, like Jay Lamar, if he can grow up. Well, yeah, that's one thing for sure. If he can grow up indeed. Listen, again, there's another deal about Rush. You guys trying to throw shade at Rush. Look, I think Rush's bad days and all that is behind him. Okay, let the man rest and let him coach, let him do his thing. He's not hurting anybody, but I mean, you guys have hung on to that Rush deal forever, and I'm talking about the negativity. Goodness gracious. Chris Sellers, Rush probation to Bainbridge. What does that mean? Donnie Jarvis is bringing back to Colquitt. Well, you guys got a pretty good coach in Colquitt, don't you? And Sean Calhoun. Lyric Baker says Rush would be a good fit for a Gwinnett school because all Gwinnett wants to do is win no matter what he's done. That's a good point. Some of the things that have happened in South Georgia, and I think that's a great point you make, Lyric Baker, speaking of Rush. I think Rush goes to a Gwinnett school or anywhere in the metro Atlanta area. I don't think he's going to be as susceptible to a lot of the critique and criticism that he has had to deal with in the southern part of the state. Excuse me. I really believe that, and that's a great point, Lyric Baker. I've never really thought of it or considered it and looked at it that way, but I think you're right. I think that's a deal that Rush would kind of just blend in the metro Atlanta area. Now I'm just trying to think what school would be good for him. I don't know. I got to give that some thought, but I think you're on the right track for sure. That's a great point that you make. Stephen K. Wynn reminds us that Stephen says Coolant Christian. It's your favorite air conditioning school. Coolant Christian. Call them today for all of your heating and repair needs. They're 7-2, 6-0 in the region. I got you, brother.
Jose Badilla, what's up, my man? Says Philip Jacob Williams, Bainbridge, Decatur County does touch Alabama state line. Yes, it does. I forgot about that. By the way, what do they call Bainbridge? The port city. I mean, I know Bainbridge is is a good ways inland, but it's called the port city. Can you actually access the Gulf from Bainbridge? I mean, there's got to be a reason it's called the port city. I'm just curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Somebody answer that for me. Boy, here's another Rush Probst to Bainbridge. So obviously Bainbridge is open. Guys, let me ask you this, though. How much work is it going to take to get Bainbridge back up? Let's look at this thing. You got Northside Warner Robins that's really struggling. They've got a coach, and of course, Coach Boone, who's trying to rebuild that thing. You've got obviously you've got let me see here, Northside Warner Robins. You've got Irwin County, Bainbridge. Three of the programs I can really think of that are really struggling, and all those teams that I just mentioned have been championship caliber teams. So just wondering how much of a job it's going to take to get those schools back up. I got to be honest with you guys, I'm shocked that all those schools have dwindled to nothing. And again, it's not a shot. It's just the way it is. Nathan Sloan says those horns are aggravating at Thomas County Central. Don't tell them that, man. They'll just get them louder. Michael Baxter, good evening, Phil, and everyone at ITG Next. Michael, what's up, buddy? Checking in from where, Milton? Michael Baxter, big Milton fan? Jose Badilla, if the opposing team requests, they can stop the horns because it's being a region game. Did not know that. That's interesting. Larry Godwin is in the house. What's up, Larry? LG, I'd love to see Rush at a major private school playing against the best teams in the nation. Now, Larry, so I guess you're talking about like a what? I guess you're talking about like a modern day, maybe like a Blessed Trinity. I don't know, just a couple of thoughts. Look, and you've got, excuse me, guys, you've got Adam Clack is at Parkview. Of course, Adam Clack is the guy that started it all at Milton. And you got to remember, Milton was bad news when Adam Clack got there. I don't know how many of y'all remember that. They were bad news. Anyway, so that's the kind of schools I think that he would fit. All right. So love the comments coming in here, guys. Appreciate all the comments. Trying to get caught up with everything. Did not know that, though, from Jose Badilla. All right. So, guys, let's talk about some of these big-time matchups that are coming up. How many of y'all watched the McEachern-Harrison game, and were you surprised by that? Harrison came in. I think they had shut out just about everybody except for 2 or 3 teams. McEachern comes out just as I predicted they would. I predicted McEachern would win that game 33-21. I took a lot of flack from people saying, are you crazy? Have you seen Hillgrove's defense? They're shutting everybody out, and you think they're going to score 33 points? Yeah, I do, and they did, +2. So they win 35-14, so I got that one right. But I think McEachern exploited some things with Hillgrove's defense, obviously. But Hillgrove's still a good team, don't get me wrong. But McEachern is quickly, establishing themselves as a true contender. I don't know how many of y'all saw the story that I wrote, and I'm talking about, and I wrote the story on who's going to contend for the 5A and 6A state championship. And let's get real here. Let's get real. Not everybody, there's going to be a handful of teams in each of those classifications, and I'm just picking those classifications out to start with. But 5A and 6A, who's going to really be the team to give, whether it's Buford or Grayson, a run for their money? Because I'm going to be honest with you, in Class 6A right now, Buford is looking really, really, really tough. Unbeatable tough? I don't want to go there. But guys, I'm just trying to be as straightforward as I can. Has Lowndes improved enough to where they could compete and go toe-to-toe with Buford? I'm just asking. You guys give me some feedback there. Okay?
But in 6A, Carrollton, who's never won a state championship under Joey King. You've got North Gwinnett. North Gwinnett, they have bounced back this year. I say bounced back because they lost a ton of players. I thought that they would suffer a little bit. I thought they'd be down this year, but they're not. Of course, there's the Lowndes High Vikings who are playing well. I mean, they've got an all-everything quarterback. What do you think about? What do you guys think about Lowndes? Will Lowndes give a real run at a state championship? I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. What's it looking like in 6A? Who are the real contenders and who's not? And I'm talking about state championship now. I'm not talking about making the playoffs and bowing out in two rounds. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about who's going to give a bona fide run to the money, for the money in Class 6A. And we can talk about 5A as well. Either one. What about Colquitt County? What about Valdosta? See, I just think this Region 1 6A thing, which they're going to get back to playing ball this week, Region 1 6A, guys, it's going to start sorting out. Okay? So right now, in Region 1 6A, you've got Lowndes. You got Lowndes at 3-0, 8-0 overall. This is 1 6A. You've got Colquitt County. That's Colquitt. Colquitt, Valdosta, Richmond Hill. All three are 2-1. And then you've got Tifton Camden, who are 0-3 in the region. So this weekend, you've got Lowndes going to be going to Richmond Hill. Do not take Richmond Hill lightly. I know they lost to Valdosta, and I'm going to tell you, that's probably the worst thing that could happen if you're a Lowndes fan. Matt Lozada and Richmond Hill have had a week off to go back and look at that Valdosta tape, get all the problems that they had, get those out of the system, and they're going to be ready for Lowndes, and it's going to be at their new stadium. Have you guys seen this new stadium, by the way? Man, it is nice. Very, very nice. Very nice stadium. So, I want to hear what you guys have to say about the Lowndes-Richmond Hill game. Does Lowndes get a battle from Richmond Hill at all? Okay? And then we've got Colquitt County, Valdosta, Richmond Hill, all 2-1 in the region. Now, Colquitt's going to be hosting Camden County. Valdosta is going to be hosting Tift County. Don't look past that game if you're Valdosta. I'm just telling you. Don't do that. Don't look past them. You got to keep your head in the game. Again, that's Valdosta, 2-1 in the region. Valdosta hosting Tift, and is that right? Is Valdosta hosting Tift, or are they going to Tift? I've got their hosting Tift, and then you've got, of course, the Wintersville Classic. There's so much that's going to be decided in these next 2 weeks in Class 1 6A. Guys, so much fun, man. So much fun. I mean, are you kidding me? How do y'all see the region? Check it out. So if Lowndes can win against Richmond Hill, they're going to be favored, of course. They go 4-0 in the region. And I think that's going to clinch it for them, isn't it? For the most part. Glenn Reed Hodges. Glenn, where have you been, man? I hadn't seen you in a while. Glenn Hodges says they are all haters because they can't beat him. All coaches have their flaws. Talking about Rush, you're right, Glenn. Talking about Rush, and man, look, like I said earlier, they're just people that love to hate in this world. It's just who they are. Okay, I mean, that's just nothing you can do about that. All right, Brad Ruiz says Lowndes is going to lose to Richmond Hill. How about that? Larry Godwin, if Lowndes wins the region, I like our chances of a deep run. Kevin Lloyd, Carrollton will choke. So here's the thing, and I want to talk about Kevin's comment. So here's the way things have gone these last couple of years in Region 1-6, or I'm sorry, Classification 6A. So you've had Carrollton every year look like game beaters, world beaters, and they're doing it again this year. But Kevin is right, and I hate to use the word choke. I mean, because it sounds, it sounds bad. So I'd rather use another word. But the bottom line is Carrollton and Valdosta, for that matter. I thought that's two programs the last couple of years that have been right there knocking on the door, had all the momentum going, and just whatever. Couldn't hang on. Okay, you got Valdosta, who's been ousted in the, second round of the state playoffs the last 2 years by Carrollton. Lopsided games. Okay, that's got to change. And I've said this all season. I think Valdosta has the talent to go all the way. I really believe that. But again, it's a big if they put it all together, if they keep their head on right, on straight. So many things have to happen to win a state title. It is so hard. All right. Let me see here. Justin King says the TCC horns are insanely loud. Was watching TCC Coffee Game on the big screen last year, and I thought something was wrong with my TV. So you're saying, Justin, that was the game that we did last year, the ITG Nets game of the week. Lyric Baker, Port City. Well, I'm afraid to ask what LMBO means. They are called the Port City, though. That's the fact. They are. Bainbridge is known as they're the Port City. Chris Sellers, Bainbridge is called the Port City because it was designated by the state legislature as the first inland port in Georgia, a title it received due to its location on the Flint River and its connection to the Gulf of Mexico via the Jim Woodruff Lock and Dam. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I got you. Let's see here. Jim Blair says giving up less than 2 a game. Who are you talking about? Private schools, Stephen K. Wynn, private schools like IMG, St. Francis, St. John's Prep, Bishop Gorman, to name a few. Are you talking about, what are you talking about? Stephen, what are you talking about? Are you talking about rush potential spots to land? Okay, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, man. I do not see that happening at all. Jose Padilla says, let's be honest, Rush would love to go coach in Region 2-5A, Region 7-5A, or 1-6A. Yes, he would. Yes, indeed. He would love that. Lyric Baker says something that may be true. Says, I don't see anyone beating TCC unless on the road due to a coin toss to another number 1 seed. I got to tell you, I was a little surprised that TCC lost last year. I remember TCC, what was that, 2 years ago when Roswell came down and beat TCC. I was surprised then. Look, Justin Rogers has done a fantastic job. And man, TCC is you can tell they've hit the weight room hard. I mean, they've got the athletes unlike anything I have ever seen in my life. Ever. I'm talking about, I remember again last year before the TCC coffee game that we did. I mean, TCC walking out, these guys' thighs were just, I've never seen anything like it. And I remember I was just sitting there staring, thinking, oh my gosh. And that's exactly how the game went. Just unbelievable. All right. I'm trying to get comments from both my phone and here on the screen. Jim Blair says Buford, Grayson, North Gwinnett, Carrollton. Okay, you're talking about who's got a legitimate shot at winning the state championship. Okay. By the way, let me say this. My number 1 overall player in the state is Tyreek Green. Excuse me, guys. Ty Boogie Green. Excuse me, guys. The more I talk, I just start to lose my voice. So I'm just trying to clear some of the fog out. Ty Boogie Green, if you guys haven't heard of him, look him up. He is our overall top performer this week. And when I say overall, the young man, Ty Boogie Green, got it done offensively, defensively, and on special teams. Getting it done all the way around. Excuse me, guys. Johnny Holcomb is in the house. What's up, Johnny? Talk to me, Johnny. Talk to me. Matt DeBuck, are you still around, by the way? Let me know if you're still here, Coach DeBuck. Jose Padilla, he's 44-3, has lost to Rosalind Hughes in postseason in the lead last year in the regular. Who are you talking about, Jose? Who are you talking about, buddy? Excuse me. Are you talking about Justin Rogers? Yeah, done a good job for sure. Ain't no doubt about that. Larry Godwin, if Lowndes wins Region 1, like our chance of a deer. I'm sorry, you said that earlier. Larry Godwin, if Valdosta wins out and Colquitt wins out, we're in a three-way tie for the top seed. Okay, and you remember, somebody brought this up on Friday night show, the tiebreaker starts with region opponents' points against, I believe, right? I believe that's right. So that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on for sure. Ren Estes, Rush can coach, period. Everyone knows it. Of course he can. And the guy gets a bad rap. He always has. Rush has did more for kids than you guys will ever realize. And it pains me, it angers me to see these folks who talk negatively about Rush. You don't know what you're talking about. You just don't. You think you do. But then again, everybody thinks that they are, a pro because they can go post something on the internet. But again, there's a lot of people who can do that. Johnny Holcomb, Wintersville Classic shaping up to be a huge game. Cannot look past Tift. Johnny, I mentioned that earlier. Definitely cannot look past Tift. Johnny, I think this Tift Valdosta game, could be wrong, but let me tell you, I think Tift Valdosta is going to be close. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Tift County gets up for this game more than anybody. Valdosta has looked a little shaky the last couple of weeks. They did what it took to win. Valdosta did, but I'm telling you, there's something about this game. Something about this game. So we will see what happens. But I think Valdosta wins it. Well, right now I do, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tift does. Tift has a knack for stepping up and playing teams like that, playing them close. But we will see for sure. All right. Jim Blair, Colquitt wins 4 in a row with help from Valdosta or Richmond. Valdosta will also beat Lowndes, says Brad Ruiz. Now, you really think so? Boy, that Wintersville Classic is going to be something else, man. Golly. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. God, I'm telling you, we got some great football coming up this weekend. How about Crisp County? I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but what about Crisp knocking off Pierce County? And in the process, knocking Pierce out of the top 10 for the first time ever that I can remember. They did not make our composite top 10. They did not make AJC's composite top 10 this week. Just got to call them like I see them, It's the way it is. Okay. Jim Blair says, right on, Phil. I hear you, brother. Jody Hewitt. What's up, Jody? Jody says, Lowndes will not lose to Richmond Hill, and that cat has lost it. Now, look, Jody, I hear you, man. Don't take Richmond Hill lightly. I would not do that. I do think the fact that Valdosta really manhandled Richmond Hill shows you the mindset that Valdosta has. Look, I think they are, man, if Valdosta catches that second win, you better look out. Now, when I say you better, that's opposing teams, of course. You better look out because things going to get quite interesting. All right, going back to some of these comments. Justin Fletcher, Gulf of America. Right on, brother. Did I say Gulf of Mexico? Shame on me. I should know better than that. Freudian slip there, Justin. Thanks so much for correcting, man. It is indeed the Gulf of America, brother. 100%. Jose Padilla, football is passionate and it's a language, especially here in the South, so the trash talking is part of it and very welcome. So no need to get overboard and hateful comments are here to stay, but no need for it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Somebody got pretty nasty with me on Friday night show, but it is what it is. You know, I'm letting it slide off, man. I am blessed with the blood of Jesus Christ, and He has blessed me. And you know what? Those are the things I am concerned with. The bigger picture. You know, not what somebody is saying about me and whatever. We're here to have fun, have friendly discussion, competitive discussions, yes. But not name call. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But anyway. Matthew DeBuck is in the house again. Matt, got to stay in here with me, brother. Don't you go anywhere. Rusty Cravey, my brother from another mother, is in the house. Rusty Cravey, what's going on, buddy? Rusty is a longtime friend of mine. And love to see him here in the house. Rusty, what's up, brother? Rusty, a.k.a. the Jinkster, checking out the show. Rusty, what's up with those Tift County Blue Devils, man? Are they going to get it done? Rusty, by the way, do you go to the Tift County games? Just curious if you go watch them. That's another thing I know that Jeff Littleton has done there at Tift. He's got Tift County fans back in the stands. I've seen the highlights, and again, we have we do the coaches show with Coach Jeff Littleton every Tuesday. And that's one thing that he has talked about when they do the Devil Walk. You know, you got fans that are coming out for that and support Tift County. So just got to keep keeping on there in Tifton at Brody Field. Johnny Holcomb pretty much admits what I have been saying. Crazy things happen at Richmond Hill. True. Yes, they do. James Randell. Come on, Phil. Can you confirm my rumor for the Camden-Colquitt game? Yes. Jay Lamar is back. Jay Lamar has returned to the Colquitt team. There you go. Is that good enough for you, brother? Yeah, the secret is out, man. Okay, Larry Baker, if Valdosta happens to beat Lowndes, then if down to a three-way tie, depending on Tift and Richmond Hill, Valdosta could win region with help of Tift. With the help of their 63-19 and 41-0 win versus Camden and Richmond Hill. Boy, those were impressive wins. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean. Just, there's a lot there, man, to read. That's all. Going to be interesting to see what happens when the dust is settled in Region 1-6A. Jose Padilla, we cannot control the circumstances, but we can control how you approach it. Yes. Rusty says every so often I go to the Tift County games. Yeah, got to support those Blue Devils, brother. I know you're a big Tift County fan, so am I. James Randall says it's not what I wanted to hear. Well, look, let me say this. So this whole Jay Lamar thing is real weird. Trying to think the best way to put this. So Jay Lamar is a very talented back. It's going to be interesting to see. They obviously Colquitt has won without Jay Lamar. Colquitt won what game was that? The first night he missed. Because I think he's only been out one game, right? Jay Lamar. Who was that they played, guys? And they won. Colquitt beat Valdosta. Okay, they beat Valdosta without Jay Lamar. Big win. So I think that shows Colquitt that, hey, they can get it done without Jay Lamar, but he is a sure good piece to have at the game, or in the game for sure. But that's Jamie Fraley Seeger is in the house. What's up, Jamie? Checking in from Camden County. What's up, Jamie? Always love seeing you in here. All right, again, we're talking about high school football gets back to action in Region 1-6A this week. What were the surprise games for you guys this past week? And again, I've been asking, who are the teams? And I've got an article. I've got a story up at the ITGNS website you guys need to check out, where I give my case for who's really going to challenge for the 1-6A title. Remember, I said this was the year of the repeat. I think that could happen in Class 6A. I mean, you could, yeah, a lot of different scenarios for sure. A lot of different things could happen. All right. But check out the story on Class 6A, who I think, look, I'm just going to cut right to the chase here for you guys. The more I see Buford, best player in the state of Georgia, in my opinion, is Tyreek Hill. No, I'm sorry. Tyreek Hill, yeah, right. Ty Boogie Green. Tyreek Green. The young man is an incredible football player. I think he's the best player in the state. He does everything for Buford. He's impossible to stop. I just cannot, I mean, guys, I cannot picture anybody in my mind stopping Buford. I cannot. That is my opinion. I think Buford is head and shoulders right now the team to beat in Class 6A. I think they're the team to beat. I really believe that. Now, anything can happen. But, so, other than Buford, Carrollton, Valdosta, this is 6A. Of course, Grayson, North Gwinnett. But you see how, you start to kind of, and you've got a lot of good teams. Well, let me rephrase that. You've got about a half a dozen, I think, bona fide teams that would have a chance at the state championship. Okay. I really believe that. Now, crazy things can happen. Johnny Holcomb talked about it. But I think in 6A, it's Buford, it's Carrollton. Again, you've got a logjam. You got a logjam there with those few schools that I think have a chance to win it all. But I really like Buford. I cannot believe Carrollton has not won a state championship under Joy King. Jose Padilla is predicting Lowndes versus Buford in 6A, TCC versus Gainesville in 5A. Darius Kirksey, I know, is our in-house bracketologist. He has helped me try to figure this thing out more so than anybody, and I really appreciate his help. So many of you other guys, though, have done this and have really helped me out in terms of trying to predict who's going to be where and who's going to do what. Justin King reminds us Colquitt won 2 without Lamar, but they played good without him. Yeah, they did. They were forced to spread the ball out. Well, sometimes that happens. If you don't have your best player, your best running back, and Jay Lamar is that guy, you start to rely on other weapons, other players. So we're going to see if that happens. But Jay Lamar is back. He'll be back. They had to give him a new number, by the way, from what I understand. He'll be wearing number 24. I don't know what number he wore before. But I don't know if that's part of the punishment or what is happening there. Okay, so let's see what else. We still got about 15 minutes to go in the show, guys. So does anybody disagree with Jose Padilla saying Lowndes versus Buford in 6A, TCC versus Gainesville in 5A? Now let me ask those of you that follow Lowndes, Valdosta, Buford, does what's different? And I asked Larry Godwin this question before the show started. He and I talked. What's different between this year's Lowndes team? And I know I asked it of Jody Hewitt Friday night and gave me a pretty good answer. Ren Esty says Buford is a machine. They're going to be hard to beat in 6A. They really are. They really are. I'm just telling you. Look, and I know people don't want to hear it. I understand. People don't like winners. And they are a darn heck of a winner, Buford.
Grayson is the state champion until somebody knocks him off. And I tell you what impressed me about Grayson is they've been getting it done without Travis Burgess. Mr. Everything, their star quarterback, went down with the injury. A lot of us were thinking, oh boy, here we go. Well, you know what? Deuce Smith has popped right in and has played in his place and is doing also a great job. So, just kind of curious here about some of these comments. Day White, what's up, Day? Good to see you in here. Justin King is asking, is TCC and Gainesville on the same side of the bracket? I know Darius Kirksey has answered this for me. Darius, if you're still in the house, what is going on there with is indeed TCC and Gainesville on the same side of the bracket? All right, Heather Knight is clarifying something here. What is that she's clarifying here? What is that? Where are you at? Heather Knight Rodriguez says, Jose, if we win first in our region and Gainesville wins first in their region, we will meet in the semifinals. Well, of course, that is hopeful that you win your first round and second round games, right? But in other words, if you win your first region, if you win your region and Gainesville wins the region, then the likelihood, let's put it that way, of those two teams meeting in the semifinals is pretty good. I think that's the best way to put that. Corey Fisher, I was surprised to learn McEachern hasn't ever won a state title. Well, I mean, that's the way that, like I said, it's amazing that Carrollton has not won one in a while. Valdosta, I think, has the talent to win. Lowndes, who's going to be will anybody from South Georgia step up and win in 5A? I'm sorry, in 6A. Well, 5A too. And by the way, I know we got some Carver fans in here. I think Carver may be maybe the best team in the state, bar none, to be a 2A school. Matthew DeBuck, Phil, where is Sly? Sly's not with us. Sly has been doing his thing at his new school. They're in, he's a new AD in a small private school in Forsyth County, my old stomping grounds. But he doesn't do the show with us anymore. Coach DeBuck. Clarence Smitty Smith says, if both teams win Friday, Wintersville Classic will be epic. Hey, Coach DeBuck, Matt, you have got to get up here to a Wintersville Classic game. Look, I don't impress easily because I've been around Southern Georgia except for my 10 years I lived in Atlanta. So I know about high school, but I'm telling you, these Wintersville Classic games, the way they do, to me, the whole thing of the introductions, the pregame hype, when Lowndes plays on that big video screen, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It's like Vikings coming across the ocean, and they're about to land in America. It's just something to behold. It really is an amazing sight. Amazing. One thing's for sure, Lowndes probably does more as far as hosting a big-time football game than anybody I've ever seen, for sure. So what do you guys think as far as 2-5A, and we're asking about 6A? Anybody going to give Grayson and Buford? And by the way, so Grayson and Buford can win if they'll win their regions. So I'm assuming that they go through the brackets and would face each other in the Class 6A state finals. Is that correct? Somebody help me out there. And Matt DeBuck says Joe Biden. Alrighty then. So Rodney Sinkfield, not Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield says Creekside seems to be, I'm just messing with you, Rodney. Rodney Sinkfield says Creekside seems to be the best team in the state. They have been very consistent. Maybe.
Again, I just don't see anybody beating Buford, guys. I really don't. Who you got in the HOCO TCC game? That's going to be the game of the week, Friday night. It's going to be a major game. Big-time game. But also going to have some other big-time games that will be taking place on Friday night. Day White, Phil, what happened to the studio? Man, we decided to start working from home, my man. Our studio is huge. And our work situation is we farm out a lot of the video work. And so I do, pretty much all the writing. Anna, it was just me and Anna who was left at the studio. So too much studio for just two of us. So Mark said, y'all want to start working from home? And we said, yeah. First time I've ever worked from home. It took some getting used to. It still does, but I like it. But anyway, I hope that answers your question, my man. So I do the coaches shows. I do the Friday night show, the Monday night show. By the way, I hope you guys will join us on Friday night. We do the Friday night show every Friday night, 10 to midnight, after most of the games are either over with or in the process of ending, and we have a fun time. I mean, it's Friday night. So we have an absolute blast on the Friday night show. I hope you guys will join us. By the way, if you're not subscribing to our newsletter, guys, it doesn't cost you a dime. It'll come to your email inbox twice a week. Just send in you can go to you can open up our Facebook page and you can subscribe to our newsletter. You'll see it. Subscribe to it. It'll come to your email inbox right now twice a week. And you guys will love it. I promise you. It's got everything you need to know when it comes to high school football in Georgia, for sure. Let's see. Darius Kirksey. Yeah, Grayson Buford would meet in the championship if they both went out. And, buddy, I'm sorry. I know I ask you that a lot, but I just can't ever keep it straight. So, guys, that Grayson Buford is going to be hard not to happen. Hard. Really hard. It's going to be hard for that not to happen. I'm just saying. It's going to be hard not to happen, man. Nathan Sloan, shout out to Georgia Bird Dogs and the Georgia Tech Yaller Jackets. Let's go, indeed. Big shout out to the Dogs and the Jackets. I'm a Georgia fan, but I'm not a Georgia Tech hater at all. Absolutely not. Jose Padilla, question. Why didn't we prepare ourselves to become a fired college coach? No question, dude. I really wish if I had to do it over again, I would have at least become a coach. I coached my sons every year in Little League Baseball, from kindergarten until they got tired of it playing travel ball in high school. Every year. Every year I coached. Every single year. Spring ball and fall ball. And you know what? We didn't lose. Ask anybody. I'll tell you. We did not lose. All right. Justin Fletcher gives a big thumbs up on the Friday night show. I appreciate that, brother. I really do, man. We try to do a good job on that Friday night show. We have a lot of fun talking high school football. Day White says the Indians had a kid 1 year that got okay, I'm not sure what you said there. Look, here's the thing about McEachern. I'll say this, parting shots that we got here. McEachern, guys, has not even been healthy all year. They've been winning these games not having their full complement of players. So they're starting to get their players back. And that sound, by the way, that you just heard, that was the rest of McEachern's region saying, oh my gosh, what did you just say? Yes, McEachern has not had their full complement of players. They just had their top receiver who is committed to Nebraska. His name escapes me right now. Was it Nayland Scott? He came back Friday night against Hillgrove. They'll have another player come back this week. So look out for McEachern, guys. They're healthy. They're getting even more healthy every week. They are going to be a program to deal with in these playoffs. I'd love to see McEachern and Darius Kirksey, if you can help me. Where would Where would McEachern fall in the Class 6A standings or the playoff bracket? Darius, where does it appear that McEachern would advance to? And let's see, Darius says 6A semifinals. I have Grayson versus North Gwinnett, Buford versus Lowndes on the other side. Interesting. So I'm assuming McEachern would lose somewhere in there. Mark Dixon says Thomas County Central on top Friday. Could be right. Nathan Sloan says their running back is a beast. All right, so Rosser Sutherland says McEachern will play the Region 1 champ in round 3. So who is that likely to be? Who is that likely to be? It's Region 1. Are you talking about? Okay, Region 1 6A. I'm sorry. McEachern would play Region 1 6A champ in round 3. Likely to, well, I don't know who it's going to be honest with you. I say likely. There's no way I can predict that with any measure of confidence. I really can't. Nathan Sloan, go Pack, go. I hear you, buddy. But what a great show we had today, guys. Great turnout. I love it. Absolutely love it. And again, in case you missed it, Rush could be coming back to Georgia. Last time I talked with him, again, he said, you know what, I'm back. I'm ready to go. He has proven it this year, coaching over at Coosa Christian. I think it's all going to rely on if they give him the job on a permanent basis or want to keep him as the interim coach, which he has announced since they let the previous coach go. So it's going to be interesting to see if Rush decides to stay at Coosa or if he gets the call from somebody in Georgia to come over and take the Georgia job. It's going to be interesting to see. Justin Fletcher, extra point is good too. Thank you for that, Justin. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate all the compliments, guys. I'm telling you, it means a lot. I promise you, it means a lot. I'll go out of the show with the feeling really good. Everybody likes to be told they count, man, you know? Darius Kirksey says, McEachern likely to see Lowndes round 3. Who do y'all like in that one, by the way? Who do you like between McEachern and Lowndes round 3 if that happens? Wow. Incredible game that's going to be. There's so many incredible games that we are going to be looking at. Jose Badilla, Phil, we love what you do too, man. Thank you, buddy. Man, I'm telling you, you have no idea how much that means to me, man. I'm telling you, man, I just love you guys, and I really do appreciate the kind words. It means a lot to me. Rosser Sutherland, Marietta Buford would be a coin flip for round 3. Marietta would have to get through either Carrollton or Douglas County. Look, I don't want to shade at Marietta. They're having a good year. And I think this is the way you do it, Jose. I'm sorry, Rosser. It's baby steps at Marietta, okay? Marietta has really struggled. They've had some good wins this year. Now, I don't think they're going to qualify or they're going to, make it, they're not going to win any, well, let's face it, they're not going to win a state championship. Be good if they get a playoff win. But Marietta's got a little ways to go. But some good wins this year, nonetheless, compared to last year, for sure. So, guys, that is going to do it for me. I am done. I can't talk anymore. I've been talking for an hour and a half straight. So I love it, though. Love you guys checking in with me. You guys didn't. We got to get you guys on audio, man, so y'all can do the talking. But what's going to happen Friday night? Okay, Friday night we are going to be on the air at 10 o'clock. Tell your friends, tell your family. Let's like and share the news on our Facebook pages, Twitter pages, whatever. Let's spread the word. Friday night show following most of the football games. We start at 10 o'clock on Friday night. We'll go to midnight. And we're going to have a blast talking about all these great games. We will know what has happened between Lowndes and Richmond Hill. We will know what has happened between Colquitt and Camden. We will know what has happened between Valdosta and Tift County on Friday night. So, again, all region games. And again, of course, 2-5A, we got the big one. Game of the year. Regardless of whomever you root for. This is it. This is it. Thomas County Central hosting HOCO. What a game that's going to be. Cannot wait for it. Guys, we'll talk about it and everything else on Friday night when you guys join me right back here on our Friday night Georgia High School Football Scoreboard Show right here at ITG Next. All right, guys. Until then, you guys check out our content. I got some good stories in the pipeline at our Facebook and our web page. Our also going to be on our newsletter. Some pretty good stories that I have written. And by the way, I did a recap of all the football from this weekend. It's up where you guys can read that. So thanks again for the support, guys. I am going to bail out of here, rest my voice up a little bit, and we will see y'all very soon. If not before Friday, we'll see you Friday night at 10 o'clock right here at ITG Next. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it again, Dr. Kevin Collins, Houston Clinic, for sponsoring our show. Big thanks to him. Can't do it without you, Dr. Collins. You are the man.